Okay, just imagine for a second the brilliant mind of an ancient Athenian philosopher paired with the smart tech of a modern EV. That is exactly the road trip we are taking today. We're matching some of the most formidable women from the Greco-Roman world with their perfect electric ride. It's kind of like a mashup of history and horsepower, so yeah, let's get right into it. So, what would actually happen if these incredible strategists, thinkers, and rulers traded in their chariots and their ships for something a little zippier? What would they drive? Well, we are about to find out. And just so you know, we're covering a huge span of time here. I mean, we're starting in the golden age of Athens with Aspasia, way back in the 5th century BCE, and we're going all the way to the twilight of the Roman Empire with Galla Placidia. That's nearly 1,000 years later. So no, these women were not living at the same time, but their influence? Absolutely timeless. All right, our first group of women, it's all about brains over brawn. These are the ones who navigated the super complex social and political labyrinths of their cities with an intellect that was just unmatched. So first up, we have Aspasia of Miletus. In 5th century Athens, she was the intellectual partner of the great statesman Pericles. But she was so much more than just a companion. She was a brilliant rhetorician and a philosopher who was basically influencing the most powerful minds of her entire generation. For a sophisticated, urban intellectual like Aspasia, the car has to be just as smart and stylish, right? That's why we've picked the Fiat 500e for her. It's chic, it's compact, and all its connected tech would be absolutely perfect for zipping through the busy streets of Athens, maybe even hosting a mobile philosophical debate from the driver's seat. Next, let's talk about Arianna from Cretan myth. Now, she's the one who gave the hero Theseus that legendary ball of thread, which helped him navigate the labyrinth and take down the Minotaur. Her story is really the ultimate symbol of using pure cleverness and the right tool to solve a totally impossible puzzle. So, what's the modern version of Arianna's thread? Well, we think it's the Renault Twingo E-Tech. With its smart navigation system and incredible agility, it's pretty much the perfect tool for finding your way through the concrete labyrinths we call cities today. It's a modern solution to a very, very ancient problem. Okay, now we are literally shifting gears. We're moving from city smarts to raw power and imperial command. This section is all about the rulers, the women who didn't just influence events, they commanded entire armies and empires. Let's meet Artemisia, the first of Caria. She was a queen who personally commanded her own naval fleet in the legendary Battle of Salamis. I mean, think about that. She was famous for her brilliant and, frankly, daring battlefield tactics, and she even earned the respect of her enemies. A commander who lives and dies by speed and precision, well, she needs a vehicle to match, and that's the Porsche Taycan. It looks elegant, sure, but its real power is in its blistering performance and its razor-sharp handling. This is the kind of car that can pivot and strike with the same deadly grace as Artemisia's fleet at Salamis. And of course, you can't have a list like this without the only Cleopatra. The last pharaoh of Egypt was a strategic genius. She spoke multiple languages, and she absolutely loved opulent, groundbreaking luxury. She commanded fleets and had Roman generals completely captivated. So what do you possibly give the queen who had everything? You give her the future. The Tesla Model S Plaid isn't just about insane power and luxury, it's about forward-thinking technology. Its record-setting range would be perfect for a ruler whose influence stretched all the way down the Nile. Okay, let's jump forward in time to the final days of the Roman Empire and meet Galla Placidia. As an empress who had to rule through some pretty immense political turmoil, she was a master of diplomacy, managing this vast, changing empire from her capital in Ravenna. An empress like Galla Placidia would have required a modern imperial transport, for sure. The lucid air is the perfect fit. Just imagine the quiet majesty of her journeys, watching her domain pass by through that huge glass roof. The enormous interior gives her splendor. The silent ride offers the kind of discretion you need for diplomacy, and its incredible long-range capability makes a trip from Ravenna to Constantinople feel seamless. All right, for our final section, we're looking at the true trailblazers, the pioneers, the warriors, the women who just completely shattered the expectations of their time. First up, Olympiad of Epiro. She was the fiercely ambitious and charismatic mother of Alexander the Great. She was a powerful political player, a high priestess of a mystical cult, really a woman who wielded both worldly and divine authority. For a personality this electrifying, you need a car with truly shocking power. The Kia EV6 GT absolutely delivers. It is bold, it's sporty, and its acceleration is so heroic, it feels almost divine. This car doesn't just show up, it makes an entrance with this silent, overwhelming force. From all that ambition to just pure toughness, now we have Cleopatra of Sparta. As a Spartan queen, she really embodied that stoic, resilient warrior spirit. She was tough, she was pragmatic, and she was ready to make any sacrifice for her homeland. You know, a Spartan queen values readiness above everything else, so the Rivian R1S is the obvious choice. It's a rugged, go-anywhere electric SUV that's as pragmatic as it is powerful. With its super robust build and all-wheel drive, it's a vehicle that's prepared for any terrain, totally embodying that Spartan spirit of being ready for absolutely anything. And finally, we come to Hypatia of Alexandria, a brilliant mathematician, astronomer, and philosopher in late antiquity. She was this beacon of reason and scientific inquiry, and she even invented scientific instruments like the astrolabe. Just an incredible mind. For a mind that's constantly pushing the boundaries of knowledge, you need the most cutting-edge technology available. The Hyundai Ioniq 5N is a marvel of engineering, just packed with tech, and it features ultra-fast charging. For someone like Aspasia, this means less time waiting around and more time for the infinite exploration of new ideas. So, after this incredible trip through time, what have we actually learned? What does pairing these ancient icons with modern machines really tell us about, well, about us? Well, it shows that the core human drives, for innovation, for power, for independence, they're timeless. They just find new ways to express themselves. The technology we create, whether it's a philosopher's tool or a high-performance EV, is always a reflection of our most enduring values: speed, intelligence, strength, and that deep desire to shape our own destiny. And that brings us to the end. But now I want to turn the question over to you. Looking back through all of history, which legendary figure would you put behind the wheel of an EV? And what car would they drive? The possibilities are endless. Thanks so much for joining me.